Okay, Namaste Acharya ji. I have a two-part question. I understood that from the verse 222 we are talking about ego and 223 we are talking about Atma. So my first question is ego universal and can it be explained similar to Atma's example of ocean that was given earlier in some sessions? Or is it like, and what does 222 mean, like when ego is moving from one body to another body? Is it like an ego from a single person when it's dead moves to some other person? Or is it or is it ego is universal? The tendency of ego is universal. That's my first question.
The universe is to the ego. So what do you mean by the ego is universal? There is no universe but to the ego. The universe is the object to the eternal subject called the ego. It is only to the ego that the universe exists.
Okay, so when we talk about ego moving from one body to another body, how can we relate that?
It basically means that body is changed. That does not mean that the ego is hopping from this place to that place. It simply means that bodies keep changing. Bodies keep changing. And particular constitutions of bodies say I. You could even proceed to say, as we said, that even a molecule does say I. Bodies keep changing and all bodies are to the ego. The ego associates itself with certain bodies. You could say it associates itself with everything. Depending on the body the ego is right now in association with, the sentence I am X is completed. Okay, I'll elaborate. What is Prakriti? What is Prakriti? Prakriti is a duality. The universe that we call it is a duality. It's a duality. Okay? What does duality mean? On this is just a model, but a helpful model would help you understand. See. So, the truth has been talked of as nothingness. It is nothing. Or it has been talked of as a bindu, point. The word bindu denotes the truth, and a bindu has no spatial existence. It really does not exist. If you say a point exists, that doesn't mean anything. For something to exist, it must have some it must occupy some space or say something. So the truth is binduvat, point-like, non-existent. And from it, and now from here begins Maya, because the truth really does not change forms or do anything. But to us there is so much. So from here we begin, Maya begins. What happens in the sway of Maya? There is duality. What kind of duality? There is this point and the rest of the universe. This point is the mother I tendency, aham vritti, I am. And then there are these infinite number of bodies that together comprise the object called the universe. So that is the first division. That is the first duality that springs from non-duality. What was the name of the non-duality? Bindu or Atma, or that which really does not spatially exist. So from that comes this and this entire universe. This entire universe is one object. This is one object to this one subject. One subject, one object. One object is the superset of everything here. Now within this universe, there are these infinite particles. Okay, this thing, that thing, that thing. So when the ego tendency combines with this, the universe that itself has projected, when it combines with this, it says I am A. Combines with this, says I am B. With this I am C. With this I am D. With this I am E. So this is what Sri Krishna means. This arises and this combines because this is eternally present. And here it's a stream in which objects are appearing and disappearing, rising and falling, forming and deforming. The moment something forms, this attaches to that and says, I am F. Even deformation is attached to. Don't we say, I am dead? Oh, I am dead. Look at the construction. I am dead. Even deformation is something that we attach to. Or I am absent. I am absent. Or I am gone. Coming is an object. Going is also an object. So this eternal I am. Now, the stream is flowing here. Things are coming and going, rising and falling. And this is constantly there. I am. It is in the field of objects of I am that everything is rising and falling, rising and falling. Now something rises, it is present, already present to attach to it and say, I am H. Now that thing is gone, something else rises here. It is already present to say, I am T. This is the broad model.
So ego is going to be present, come what may.
The ego is the eternal presence. In the field of space and time, the ego is the eternal presence. The ego tendency, that is. The ego tendency. There will be no place, no time when the ego tendency itself is gone. It is possible that right now the object that it attaches itself to does not say I am somebody in the way we know it. But the tendency will always be there. To give you an example, there is nuclear annihilation, let's say, and everything is flattened. Everything is absolutely flattened, right? No species at all remain on this earth anymore. Nothing remains. There exists now nobody to say I am, or I am Mohan, I am Daniel, I am Radha. Nobody exists to say this way. Still, the ego tendency will remain. Everything is gone. Even the last bacteria and the last virus have disappeared under the nuclear influence. Everything is gone. Still, the ego tendency will remain. Think of the time when there were no organisms on this planet or anywhere in the universe. Where did they come from? The ego tendency was always there. The ego tendency was always there. It is there in the particle itself. It is there in the material itself. Everything in the universe carries the ego tendency.
Okay. So, sir, for example, let's say take a stone. I am saying it is a stone. Stone doesn't know it is a stone. So, is it that with respect to me, there is an ego tendency for the stone. Like I am saying it is a stone. But for the stone, there is no ego tendency.
You too were a stone. See how today you say, I am Varsha. Let's say your name is Varsha. Let's say. Were we not all stones once? How did we assume what we call as life? Where did this life come from? There is no God that injected life into the stone. The stone itself took on life. The stone always had the ego tendency. Therefore, given the right time, the opportune circumstances, the stone became Varsha.
Yeah. Yeah, because even I was an embryo in the beginning.
In the beginning. And before the embryo, what were we? Just material. Just material. How does life get into a fetus? It never gets into a fetus. It was always there. Every sand particle in that sense is waiting to come alive. That's what we are calling as the ego tendency.
Understood. Yeah. My second question was related to truth being nothing, but while explaining, you already mentioned that truth is nothingness. So my question is clear.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Acharya, my question is, what I understand life is, it is experiencing things around you, and then understanding the futility of it, and then moving towards liberation. As a part of moving towards liberation, from one of your analogy examples, what you provided, that a person can be somewhere on the XY coordinates, say 1000, 1000, X and Y. And when he starts his journey towards liberation, maybe he moves to somewhere like 950, 950 by from his readings. Maybe I take an example of Yoga Sutras by Patanjali over here. If the seeker follows Yam Niyam and has progressed towards 950, 950, and if unfortunately the seeker's journey ends in death, is his journey towards liberation incomplete, or is there something like 00 that the seeker journey is only complete when he goes to 00, the origin?
It's not about x and y. It's about dx by dt and dy by dt. You're talking of coordinates. It's not about the coordinates. It's about the velocity, the direction and the speed. You have to keep moving. You have to keep moving. You might never actually reach 00. Love is about movement in the face of adversity.
And love towards liberation.
00 is something that is just like a pole star, Dhruv Tara, a guiding light. The horizon, you might never actually reach it. Liberation lies in the movement, not in the achievement. Thousand, 950, they all mean nothing. It has to be a blind, heartful tumble. One is tumbling towards his dissolution in a blind way, in a way that intellect can never comprehend. One cannot calculate so precisely, right? From 1000 I have come to 950 and I have burnt 3 liters of petrol. So that's, even the mileage is nice, you see. And I've done record time. So I'm doing well. And how do I compare with the others? Well, I stand at the 96th percentile. Not too bad. That's not the way of the lover. Huh? singing and music and melody. That's why I have so much importance in spirituality. There are certain things that are so difficult to express in prose. That madness. It's not mathematical. Though you must begin with mathematics. But then very soon something beyond mathematics takes over. You forget your calculations. 1000, 950, 0, X, Y, all the models, all the intelligent things like this one, so smart, so nice. He made a sleek model of everything. Subject, object, entire universe, including the self. And all this is, as they say, blowing with the wind. Blowing in the wind. Yes.
Thanks, Acharya. Thank you.